What's going on, college football fans? We got one more Chick-Fil-A Kickoff game for you guys to watch and enjoy, which is tomorrow night, Louisville versus Ole Miss. Oh, the hometown team. You guys know I live in Louisville, Kentucky, so I can't talk too bad about the Cards. They might come after me because I'm here in the city. No, I'm just playing. But it will be a great game tomorrow night. We've got Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels coming in against Scott Satterfield and the Louisville Cardinals. Now, both of these teams last year, they had up and down games. Now, if you're going to go to up and down seasons. Now, if you're going to attend this game, make sure you use the kickofffanplay.com web-based platform to go and win prizes and interact with the game before, during, and after. Make sure you go to kickofffanplay.com, scan your QR code on your phone to make sure you pull everything up and you can get there and access it easily, right? Just go in there, scan it, we're there. The Chick-Fil-A Kickoff game in Atlanta, Louisville and Ole Miss. I look forward to this game because these are two offenses that they really like to go up and down the field. You know, Louisville, they've got a habit of throwing the ball around and running a little spread offense, and we know what Lane Kiffin likes to do with the QB, Matt Corral. Now, Matt Corral, he's an interesting cat for me. Lane Kiffin actually won't be at this game coaching because we all know the boogeyman under the bed. COVID has affected the Ole Miss Rebels by effectively taking, Lane Kiffin tested positive for COVID, so COVID has removed the head coach from the contest, so he will not be able to be at that game. However, I do suspect that those coaches for Ole Miss will still coach and exude Lane Kiffin's personality in outstanding fashion, because we know he's a colorful personality and he puts himself out there. So I can't imagine his coaches doing anything different. I think his personality will come through on screen through that coaching staff with the way they call plays and the way they do everything. So really looking forward to seeing how this game goes. What does Lane Kiffin have up his sleeve? This Louisville defense, they gave up a lot of yards last year. So did the Ole Miss defense. The Ole Miss defense, I think they gave up almost over 500 yards last year. And you just wonder what's going to give in this game when you have two teams who have to improve on defense. Louisville, they don't really have any stars. Ole Miss doesn't have any stars on defense, but who can stop who? Malik Cunningham, the quarterback for U of L. You know, a lot of people here in the city look at him as Lamar Jackson 2.0, similar build, similar athleticism. He ain't no Lamar Jackson. Don't get it twisted. He's the knockoff version. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but if we're talking about Lamar, MVP, Heisman Trophy Jackson, he's the knockoff. He's the store-bought brand, right? But Malik Cunningham, how can he elevate himself this year as a junior playing quarterback for the Cards? You know, you've had your sophomore year. You had your freshman year, your sophomore year, had a chance to play against Alabama in the first game a couple years ago, didn't do really great, but you had a chance to be on that stage. Now you get Ole Miss, another SEC opponent who's not Alabama, so can you have a better showing than you did a couple years ago against Alabama? That Jawan Pass really struggled against Alabama, and then Cunningham came in, he didn't do great either, but really looking forward to seeing what the leap is like for this young man's career, going from a sophomore to an upperclassman, and being, I'm sure they're going to demand a lot more from him in the passing game, Scott Satterfield in the Louisville Cardinals, because Tutu Atwell was their star receiver at U of L, but he's in the pros now. So you can't necessarily lean on him. I wonder, do they lean on the tight end, Marshawn Ford, Hassan Hall in the backfield? How does Louisville compensate for the losses that they have on offense? So I just really want to see how either team comes out and plays, because when you had a bad defense the year prior, you're on your heels a little bit, because you wonder. I know offensively we can maybe move the ball and get it done. We can score 50, we can score 60, but will our defense give up 61? Will our defense give up 55? Those are the things you wonder about when you play for a team who was up and down in back and forth. It's kind of like a Jameis Winston, and I hate to rag on Jameis, because shout out to him because he's going to start for the Saints, won that job. But, you know, the 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns, when you have a bad defense and a good offense, it just nothing offsets. They're just kind of bouncing off of each other. You know, it's yin and the yang. You know, so you can't really win a whole lot of games like that. You're a 500 team. You know, that's not so. Which team takes the leap this year, Louisville or Ole Miss? Ole Miss, Jerrion Ely, watch out for this guy. He's a dynamic receiver. Matt Corral, they're going to run a hurry up. So they're going to get him the ball in the flats a lot. They're going to get him screens, swing routes. They're going to keep him on the edge because Jerrion Ely, he's a great athlete in space, right? He'll make you miss. He can run routes. But most importantly, he will shake you and bake you. He's a little guy, but he's a dynamic receiver that Louisville's going to have to keep in check if they want to keep the score from getting too ugly. Now, yes, you're going to score points on Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they're going to score. But, I mean, Louisville's got to understand that this is an SEC defense. So, like any SEC defense, you've got to be able to be physical, tough at the point of attack, and be able to put points on the board. If you can't play a whole lot of defense, you better be able to score some points. So, Louisville, if they can score points, if Scott Satterfield can call a decent game and keep the ball in the athlete's hands and keep on the edge and just play a little defense, I'd say the defense that holds the other team under 400 yards wins this game. Now that sounds like a dumpster fire of a game, but hey, hey, we're gonna have two historic programs there. Ole Miss, great football history with Chucky Mullins and Archie Manning and Eli Manning, and then you got Louisville, great football history with Lee Corso, the man's been there, and then also Johnny Unitas played there, and Schnellenberger. I mean, I could go on and on, but these two programs, when they collide, who comes out on top? If I had to choose who came out on top, I'd have to go with Ole Miss just because I trust Matt Corral a little bit more because I like his swagger, I like his moxie. He's confident in the pocket. I think he's going to get things done and feel like the game's more so on his shoulders a little bit. Not necessarily unwanted pressure, but he knows the head coach is not there. He knows he's got to perform. He knows he's got to be the guy that everybody says he could be this year. Didn't see that from Sam Howell the other night from North Carolina, but will we see it from Matt Corral from Ole Miss? Is this his season? Is this a young man that will take another leap and be able to compete with teams like Alabama and Auburn? Well, to do that, you got to be Louisville the first game. So, really looking forward to watching this game. Make sure you go to kickofffanplay.com and use the app. And use that to play and stay in tune with all the things that are going on with the game. Win prizes. Stay engaged with what's going on before, during, and after the game. Remember, kickofffanplay.com. Make sure you go there, scan the QR code with your phone, and it's simple, easy to get to, and you'll have a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. So, like I said, I'm going to have to roll with Ole Miss just because I think they're the better team. I think they'll play a little bit better defense. I think Louisville will give up 450 yards. Ole Miss will give up 400. so that's where we're at. But like I said, looking forward to the Chick-Fil-A Kickoff game to end this great weekend, this great Labor Day weekend full of football. Make sure you check out Notre Dame, Florida State tonight, but then we're going to definitely stay tuned for the final Chick-fil-A Kickoff game tomorrow night, Louisville versus Ole Miss in Atlanta. It should be a battle. It's going to be amazing and festive event, so make sure you check it out. It'll be a fun time, and make sure you go to kickofffanplay.com and scan the QR code with your phone so you can get involved before, during, and after the game and win lots of prizes, all right? Thank you for watching Zono's Sports Show, where I talk a little bit about what's going on. Please continue to enjoy the rest of the college football weekend, and we will talk soon. Thank you so much, guys. I'll holler.